In this video I'm going to explain this limit, which is limit with x approaches to 2 of 2 times x minus 4 over 1 over x plus 2 minus 1/4. And the thing is, I already solved in this case, I already tried in this case to test for this x as x equal to 2, and I already found that this is a case where we had a 0 over 0. So in other words, we have to do something about to fix this condition and to get to something defined. And in order to do so, we're going to do something pretty much the same thing as we did in the previous video. We have to look for and identify, well, in this case we have this scenario where we have these fractions that are subtracting in this case. So in other words, we have to do this getting a common denominator, and that's what we're going to do right now. Now let's see, I'm going to start by rewriting this limit in here, and let's see. So the common denominator thing, which above we have this 2 times x minus 4, and so far it looks like we can't do anything about it, so let's just leave it like it is. And below we have 1 over x plus 2 will be times, and we have to get this common denominator, so we got to multiply times the other denominator, which is this 4. It would be 4 over 4, then would be, in this case, minus, it would be 1/4 times, and this is a very ugly 4. I think it could do better. There it is. Now the other denominator would be this x plus 2. So we got to multiply this x plus 2 over x plus 2. There it is. I'm going to just stretch the line here because it looks kind of ugly. There it is. Now, so from here we got to keep on with this this algebra that we got to do in the denominator. So let's get to it. So the first fraction, now it will look this way, would be a 4 over 4 times x plus 2. It will be minus, now the other fraction, this guy will look like this, would be x plus 2 over 4 times x plus 2. There it is. Now this is all below this 2 times x minus 4 guy. There it is. So let's continue. This is the limit, and let's copy it and see where we get. And okay, let's now subtract these two fractions and see what we get. Above, of course, we have this 2 times x minus 4. There it is. And below we will have this 4 minus. Now be very careful with this minus, because with this we'll check. I will switch the signs of these both guys. I'm going to use actually 2 steps to work this through, and to avoid confusions. And below we have this 4 times x plus 2. There it is. So I'm going to scroll down the screen a bit, and there it is. So this guy will look pretty much now. Now this sign, what I was telling you, now let's see how this will affect the expression. The effect expression would be 4 minus x, and this sign will switch also this positive 2 to a negative 1, negative 2. So, and below we have this 4 times x plus 2. Now, of course, we can simplify what we got in here, this 4 minus x minus 2. We can simplify it, so let's do it. Let's do it here below. We'll get above it will remain the same. This 2 times x minus 4 will be over, would be in this case 2 minus x. Once we simplify this piece of the expression, 2 minus x. Below we got this 4 minus x plus 2. Now, before getting any further, this guy we have in the denominator. This guy is, we could consider this to be a guy which is, in other words, expressed like this. It's a number that we can consider it to be this 2 times x minus 4 will be over 1, because it's in the denominator element, and this will be all over 2 times x minus over. I'm sorry. I'm going to scroll down the screen again to see get more space. I forgot to close this one. So there it is. It'll be 4 times x plus 2. Now, my point here was, once we do this, we can clearly see we can simplify this expression multiplying the terms in between times the other terms, and we'll get to, let's see, we'll get to this expression, which is slightly simpler, and will be 4 times x plus 2 times x minus 4. There it is, over, all over, 2 times x, 2 times minus x, 2 minus x, I'm sorry. Now the thing is, once we get here, what can we do in order to simplify these guys? I think you may have this intuition about we have to do something about the guy we have below, and we have to simplify it with one of the guys that we have above. Now the thing is, we can use this guy, this term, to starting up to get a common factor out of it. First I'm going to a common factor out of it, and we'll get to this. 4 times x plus 2 times the common factor will be 2, I'm sorry, 2, and then we get x minus 2, and below we still have this 2 minus x. Now the thing is, these guys look very close to each other, this 2 minus x and this x minus 2, but they're not exactly the same. So we can do a trick of algebra to solve this term, and this trick is that we can switch the sign of one of the terms by doing this. I'm going to switch the sign of the guy, of the guy below, which is going to be looking like this. It'll be 2 times x minus 2. Oh, we can simplify this 2. We can simplify this 2 guy. Let's do it in this moment, just to stop carrying on this 4 and the 2. We can multiply this guy, the 4 and the 2, and then we'll get this 8 up front. We get this x minus 2, and now here comes the thing. This 2 minus x. I'm going to do this. I'm going to switch the sign of it, guy, to turn it into a x minus 2. Now you can see this is okay, because if you multiply this negative sign times dx, you will get this negative x. If you multiply this minus term, this sign times the negative 2, you will get a positive 2, which is exactly what we got previously. Now we can simplify now this x minus 2 and this other guy, and I think you will see that now we'll get to something defined. Pretty nice. So let's continue. There it is. Now let's see. Now we'll get this negative sign. Don't forget about this negative sign. We get to this minus 8 times x plus 2. And now once we simplify it, after we pass this simplification, we must always try to substitute this x approaching to 2, whatever the value it is, and to check it out if we get to something defined. Well, let's see. I think you'll notice it's going to be clearly the case. It would be 8 times 2 plus 2, and this will clearly be well, this is just 4 times negative 8, that will be equal to negative 32, and actually that's the solution for this limit that we have to start. We started a few minutes ago. All this, and that's it for this video.